Hello! Alright, here we go. So we're going to take a look at the news today on October 27th, 2020. We're going to see what it is. You know, we got the news day today on Tuesday. Let's see what we've got. So this is for the Halloween Neovisions Awaken stuff. So let's start off with the juicy bits. So the news that we got today is that we have Neovisions Awakenings for Grim Lord Sakura and Lucius. Grim Lord Sakura being one of the most chased after units that I can remember in history. And then Lucius, you know, not so much. Lilith maybe, but not him. And then as just off banners, but they don't get any awakenings, latent abilities, or anything like that. For this banner, you get all the old Halloween units, so that's Carton, Godria, Demon Rain, Draco Laswell, Lilith. And then for the 3 stars and 4 stars, you get Pirate Jake, Illusionist, Nicole, Black Cat Lid, and White Witch Fina. Alright, and again, this banner will run until Wednesday, 11/11, so, you know, that's nice. You get the tokens every time you do it, and 1 guaranteed 5-star, or Neovision with every 11 summon, so you're still getting a guaranteed 5-star. Now, it doesn't say whether or not there would be off banners, but I would hope not. That would be cool if there were not off banners on this, but, you know, that remains to be stated. But the exchange shop will have for more details. Okay, so we'll check that news later. Alright, so we have Grim Lord Sakura. So Grim Lord Sakura, first of all, her sprite just gets better. Her sprite gets better in her Neovision form, because her sprite is about a 3-year-old sprite, you know? Like, they dusted it off a little bit, you know, they polished it, it looks a little cleaner. And then her Brave Shift, I don't know, is she floating? That's pretty cool. And she goes just being a pure DPS. She's not like anything else. She's just pure DPS in the Brave Shift form. So I'm excited to see if she's Abara levels of DPS. Abara is a limit burst DPS, so maybe she's perhaps just like a chaining DPS. Like she just does Chaos Wave Awaken to or perhaps even Bolting Strike to an unnatural degree. Her old chaining family was Chaos Wave, so that would make sense if she goes Chaos Wave Awakened. But we could also see her go a Bolting Strike. What's really cool about her is that in her Brave Shift, it's infinite, and it's on a 1-turn cooldown, available turn 1, so almost like she's a Neovision's base, having that infinite Brave Shift duration. She will never come off of it unless you tell her to come off of it. Her Super Trust Mastery reward and her Trust Mastery reward are, you know, the Trust Mastery is not that great, but the STMR is boost HP and MP by 20% and boost equipment and magic and equipment spirit, which are fantastic. That's a fantastic buff that we've gotten, and it's unique basically to her. This becomes one of the best in slots for Yoshikiri if you want to run him for equipment spirit. So if you're going to chase a unit for their STMR on this banner, Grim Lord Sakura is worth doing it for. This is still one of the best in slots for a lot of builds. Grim Brilliance. I highly suggest this STMR. Trust Mastery Reward is it's Fire and Dark Elemental, so I guess for it being dual element, it's kind of, you know, niche, but it's I've never once seen anybody use it. Then we have her standard abilities, her 2 level up abilities. One's Fire, one's Dark. I'm going to guess that these are part of some chaining family. Undecided as of yet which they are, but they could be Bolting Strike. Bolting Strike would make her work with a lot more units, I would feel. A lot more of the more recent magical DPS that we've got. But she could also be Chaos Wave Awakened and, you know, work with Abara. Who knows? Tries to stick into the Halloween theme. Maybe her Dark chains with Abara with Chaos Wave Awakened, but maybe her Fire chains with Bolting Strike. We don't know. It doesn't tell us. But it also has an Imperil attached to these 2 skills, most likely 120 Imperil, like most of the rest of the Neovision Awakened units that we've gotten. In her regular form, she has Grim Ritual, which is an interesting skill, and I'm excited to see the percentages on it. It has fully consume own limit burst gauge and consume her own HP to reduce damage taken for all allies, activate barrier for all allies, and automatically revive all allies 1 time. So this is a huge let's make it through this turn skill. So I think that's really cool. Depends on what the reduced damage taken is, because that seems to be general mit. I mean, we're going to go on the wording here on the news, but that's probably going to be general mitigation. So it's general mitigation, barrier, and re-raise on the whole team. Could be really cool. Could be a really good skill. Then her Magnus ability and her Brave Shift form boost physical and magical damage against humans, demons, and reapers for caster. So that's human, demon, and reaper killer. Might be a nice thing to steal with Zahn using Dark Visions, you know? Get those top scores. Use this ability. Brave Shifter turn 1, use this ability. Redistribute reaper killer or demon killer with Zahn, and, you know, then deeps on turn 2. Who knows? Alright. Then we have Lucius. Lucius, whose sprite goes from, I'm sorry, but derp o'clock. He's just, oh god, his sprite's not that great. I'm not a big fan. You guys can call me out on that, but I'm not a big fan. But this Brave Shift Unlocked form, oh my god, his Brave Shift form? Now that's a sprite. Oh man, this I'm ready for. So he goes from a physical attacker, which he kind of sorta did alright, I guess, to being a physical attacker and debuffer. So I think he's going to be a mainly just like a breaker. So we're probably looking at 80% breaks. If he can get up to 84% breaks, oh man, he's my new breaker. But if he stays at 80% breaks, then he's still a really good breaker. All right, and plus that sprite is sick. All right. Your EX Awakening rewards, it's pretty much the same as, every Neovision's Awakening. His Brave Shift duration lasts for 4 turns, so that's a pretty hefty, it's not infinite, but, 4 turns is pretty much, it's a standard for Neovision's Awakening. That's pretty lengthy. His cooldown would be 2 turns, but it's available turn 1, so that's nice. He's not like, Red 13, where, it's not available until, later in the year. His STMR I've always enjoyed because it's a hat with 52 attack that boosts attack when equipped with fists, and it fills the LB gauge by, I think it's 2 every turn. So the 2 that it fills it by is pretty slick. Then his Trust Mastery reward is essentially boost attack 30% when equipped with fists and 30% when equipped with clothes. That's not that great. It's boost attack by 60%. It's a TMR, if that's all you can get is TMRs at this point, like, if you're a new player, I guess, it's alright. 60% attack for a day 1 player might be alright. But, we got, if we're comparing Trust Masteries, that's pretty good Trust Mastery. But, we've got so many better STMRs, Alright, so then his featured standard abilities, from his standard form, boost attack by 100, so this must be a passive. So boost attack by 100, defense and spirit by 40%. That's just not 100%, by 100. So a flat 100 buff in there. Okay. Defense and spirit by 40% and boost damage of certain abilities. So it'll probably, boost like Severing Slash and other abilities already in his kit. Then we have Severing Slash. He used to be a Divine Ruination chainer. Maybe he becomes Stardust Ray chainer. Looking at a sprite, I could see Stardust Ray, Demons know what a Stardust Ray is, I guess, But damage and reduced attack, defense, magic, and spirit for 1 enemy. So this becomes his break skill. So hopefully it is, like 84%, but it could be 80%. We'll find out. Either way, though, I think he'll be a very good unit to bring into your party if you need a breaker. Alright, then his Brave Shift abilities. Consume his own HP to deal dark damage to 1 enemy. Imbue himself with dark element. And boost dark physical damage. So that's a really interesting skill. He loses some HP, doesn't say how much, to imbue dark and boost dark physical damage. Now, I think that's pretty cool. We'll have to see what those percentages are on the boost dark physical damage, but I really like the modifiers that they've been putting out with the Neovisions of damage type, element type damage boosts. Alright, then his Frenzied Destruction. So he might work really well with, I don't know, like Veritas of the Dark, maybe, Neovision. I don't know. We'll find out once we see his whole kit. Frenzied Destruction, his Magnus ability, 1 use per battle. Boost his attack, so it's like a passive, okay. It's passive buffs, okay. Boost attack, inflict berserk status. Now that's tricky. What's he getting? If he's inflicting berserk status on himself, that means that this must do something crazy. Boost physical damage against demons and humans for caster. Okay, again, buffs that we could steal with Zon for dark visions. Reduce dark resistance for the enemy, and consume HP and deal dark damage to all enemies. Okay, so it reduces the dark resistance and then deals dark damage. Okay, consumes his own HP, boosts attack, and inflicts berserk. So this is a skill kind of like what Carton has. This is basically like Carton's big skill that we always looked for him to be like, oh my god, Carton's so buff. So he gives himself the berserk status buff, which is an attack increase buff. So this skill could be like a one-hit skill. We'll find out. But this could be a very, very high damaging skill against demons and humans. So hopefully we get some of those bosses where Lucius can really shine. Okay, so let's look to the other stuff that we're getting. So what am I saying for Grim Lord Sakura and Lucius? Lucius, if you're looking for a nice breaker with some dark damage, and Grim Lord Sakura, if you're looking for a new, pretty sick Neovisions Awakened mage, or if you just like Grim Lord Sakura. Also, her STMR is fantastic and still a best in slot for a lot of builds. Alright, then we're looking at Grave Hexphias. Grave Hexphias is a rerun event. It's back! It's back! It's an elemental wave battle. So you guys might recognize this guy from the Chamber of the Vengeful. The Chamber of the Vengeful, the spooky ghoul again. It's the same guy. He's back from last year. So you can get Haunted Blaster. It's a dark elemental weapon. And you can get Dread Scythe Reaper, again, dark elemental weapon. They're both two-handed weapons. They're not great. It's a dark elemental gun and a dark elemental spear if you end up needing that, but each one of them is not really that special. So, like, I don't know. Get some lapis, but really, these are kind of alright. The charcoals aren't that great. So I'm just going to kind of skip past the charcoals, because we already know what these are from last year. They boost light resistance and resistance to blind and disease, and they have very low base stats. They're part of the sets, so they boost defense and spirit when equipped with the other parts of the charcoals, but you upgrade them to the Ashen. So we'll look to the Ashens. So Ashen Relic, you get attack and magic +8, defense and spirit +5, and this is an accessory, and MP +5%. Pretty low. Boost light resistance by 15% and resistance to blind and disease by 15%. Also, 15%, really low. Boost defense and spirit by 10% when equipped with Ashen Hood. Okay. Ashen Hood is attack magic +8, defense and spirit +5, MP +10%, boost light resistance by 20%, and resistance to blind and disease by 30%. And Ashen Set, boost defense and spirit by 15% when equipped with Ashen Cloak. Okay. Ashen Cloak, attack magic 18, defense and spirit 10, MP 10%, boost light resistance by 20%, and resistance to blind and disease by 50%. Boost defense and spirit by 20% when equipped with Ashen Relic. So you equip all three, and you get all those defense and spirit passives. But it's kind of a hefty investment just to get those passives. If you're a new player trying to go for like some trial where it does a lot of light damage, this could get you through it. But I just don't see it. Like if I want to get light resistance, I'm probably gonna pull it off of like old Ash TMR or something like that. Like I'm gonna get light resistance off of other sources rather than getting them off of these time limited items. It's very new player based. I might use these in the right kind of build, but most likely not. Okay, Wolf Claws. Wolf Claws are a 120 attack claw dark elemental. These kind of shine for me because they are a dark elemental claw. It's two-handed weapon, and it boosts physical damage against Reapers. So it has a Reaper killer on it. It's dark elemental. It's 120. It's niche, but when you do need it, it's pretty good. So occasionally you might use Wolf Claws. Who knows? Although eventually, like soon, we're getting a non-elemental Dark Visions weapon, which is claws. So, you know, maybe you just learn to imbue rather than look for the dark elemental weapon off of this. Then we have Protective Pendant. Protective Pendant is chance of evading some physical and magical attacks. Like it's not bad, you know. It's better. Uh, Activate Dodging the Dead. Attack magic plus 25 and defense and spirit plus 10. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of evade gear, so maybe this can help towards your build. But and it does have attack magic, so like starting off new, you know, I could see that. And then the Wolf Claws plus 125. So you know it's a little bit higher. A little bit higher. Protective Pendant plus, you know, just a little bit higher percentages. Okay, and then the bonus units, if you're going to run friend units this week, try to share the new Neovisions Awakens if you have them. But if you don't have those, then you can run any of the 5-star base Halloween units that you may have. I personally don't have any. And then, you know, all the other units have their buffs. All right, so let's continue on looking through the Nuls. We have the Nuls. We have Mean Ghouls. Mean Ghouls was kind of the week 2 dungeon that was last year's Halloween, and we're getting it on the same week this year. We get Illuminated Blightstone recipe. Illuminated Blightstone recipe. So Blightstones are what you're farming out from this event, but this is like the illuminated version. Okay. Lord Sakura and Lucius are the bonus units this time around for this, so they'll do more damage. So we have that to look forward to. Okay. And then Ill Fortune Awaits. Ill Fortune Awaits is a new, highly difficult quest. It's the second part of the Ibarra event. So we have this nasty little mage. If you did the story mode, you know he's bad guy. He's Ibarra's nemesis. You know, there's the little Kupo information there about beating him, but he's probably going to be pretty easy, honestly. You get these exchange tickets. You get 10 exchange tickets for Curse the Tree Demon, which you can use to trade in for specific 5-star bases. They're sort of they're not the Halloween 5-stars, so it's like Prompto and like some others. You can see that list and make your own choices on, you know, which one whenever you go into game and see that list. Then we have, similar to the Elena event, a new thing that toggles back and forth. Every time you can spend 1,000,000 gil and decide whether or not you want it to be the Scarlet Headdress or the Carmine Headdress. So as the Carmine Headdress, it boosts light resistance by 30%, has magic 48, and spirit 30%. As the Scarlet Headdress, it has the same magic and the same spirit percentage, but now instead of boosting light resistance, it boosts dark resistance by 30%. So if you really, really, really need that, you can switch it back and forth every day and just be spending gil until you're broke. I really don't know why they just didn't make it two separate items. Like, the idea of the Neovisions shifting back and forth is cool, but item shifting back and forth just drives me insane. Okay. Then we have Dark Visions. You guys that love Dark Visions, it's coming back this week. It's coming back this week. It's going to run for 2 weeks. I'm so excited that they moved to 2 weeks. It's fantastic. So just a small recap if you guys are trying to prep your teams. We have Physical, Fire, and Darkness on Wave 1. Wave 2 is Physical, Earth, and Light. Wave 3 is Magical, Lightning, and Wind. So that's a bar right there, lightning. Magical domain is Wave 4 for Magical of Ice and Water. And then Wave 5, sort of the last one, is whatever you can do, but it's Light and Shadow. Okay. Alright. So the enemies are Human, Beast, Stone, Avian, Dragon, Fairy, and Machina. So that'll be fun. You get this, if you can get that top ranking, you get that rainbow sweet looking Dark Visions thing. Hopefully it's not everybody gets it this time, but I did like it last time. I got the #1 ranking along with like 4,000 other players in the world. All those sweet rewards, that 100% trust Moogle, oh, it was great. I loved it. So no real changes to everything else. You know, you can farm out your Dark Matter and all that. You can farm the Dark Ragnarok and, you know, the Dark Gambiton and all the rest of those. Okay. Then we've got story continuing for those people that enjoy story. We're going to see what happens in the next chapter. I personally love doing the story. It's a lot of free lapis, and you know, it's fun seeing where Bruce is getting up to. And then we have the Holiday Exchange for Sakura Sweets. Holiday Exchange for Sakura Sweets. So if you've been collecting these from the daily logins, then which is basically the only way I think you can get them is from the daily logins. You can exchange those Sakura Sweets for any one of the 5-star base Halloween units, and then exchange the rest for their prisms. So you can exchange for the unit and the prism, and apparently exchange for lapis if you just don't want them at all. If you're like, Halloween doesn't excite me at all, apparently you can exchange for lapis as well. Okay. Then we have the exchange shop, the unit fragments. Introducing the exchange shop unit fragments. Now this is interesting. Is this how we get unit fragments for units that are not around anymore? Because on JP it was a daily dungeon. Is this how we receive it? Not as a daily dungeon that we can run, but as an exchange shop? Introducing the exchange shop unit fragments, available from Thursday 10/29. So that means, so there's no end date, so that must mean it's permanent. How to exchange coins. Unit exchange coins can be acquired via the unit fragment login bonus. For the login bonus for more. So every day you log in, you get unit fragment login. You get a unit fragment login. Okay. All right. So you get these. You get the currency from logins. Trade exchange coins, unit fragments for items in the exchange shop, unit fragments. You can exchange for pretty much every Neovisions or Neovisions Awakened unit that we've gotten so far. Unit exchange coins, unit fragments, attainable from the unit fragment login bonus will no longer be usable past the start of maintenance Wednesday 11/25. Okay, so this is a limited time thing. So this is not the permanent way that we'll be getting a farmable shards. This is just something to tide us over until they figure it out. Okay. So, yeah. Log in every day. Get the shards for the units you're working on, guys. Okay. Whoever you need to get. Now, how many do we get per day? Alright, so day 1, we don't even get one. We get an EX ticket. But then we get 1 per day, pretty much. On one day we get 2, one day we get 4, but most days it's 1. Some days it's 2, some days it's 4 though. So that's pretty cool. Alright, we get those for a good while. Alright. The unit exchange shop for Lord Sakura. Okay, so if I summon on the Lord Sakura banner, I can exchange the coins that I get. You know, every 5k you spend nets you 1 coin. So I would get, I can trade those in for all the 5-star bases, or all their prisms that are on the Halloween. And of course the Minotaurs and the Cactuars and blah, 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 blah. Let's see here. We get the world revisit quests. You know, go back to the world, get that lapis sun. So I'm excited by that. I love the world revisit quests. And then we get Neat November. Is there nothing better they could call it than Neat November? I mean, sure it works, but like No Shave November is always like a fun thing. Like it sounds cool, but like Neat November, Never Forget November, never. I mean, I don't know. Neat November, Neato Keen November. All right, so it's only 7 days. It's the first. It's for the first week. You get a worthless ticket. You get, because these 10+1 summon tickets, they can get you some 5 stars, maybe. It doesn't have a guarantee to even get a 5-star base, so like you might not even. I'm not a fan of these tickets right now. And then you get some lapis off of this, and then another one of those tickets. Okay. Then we have maintenance. So that's it, guys. That is the news for today. Let's take a look. Does it say how much this banner costs? No, it doesn't say how much this banner costs. Hopefully it's 4.5 like the last one was. But I'm probably going to look at Lucius as a fantastic breaker. I know a lot of people are excited by Lord Sakura. I personally think they're both great. I would be very excited to get any one of the old Halloween units as well. I thought that Demon Rain or Draku Laswell was going to get Neovisions Awakens, considering they're the oldest. Actually, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the oldest global exclusive units in the game. Okay. Alright. Well, that's it. Thank you, guys. I hope to see you on the next video. Much love and peace.